Hey everyone, I'm Ayo and welcome back to our latest explainer. Today we are opening up a really serious file. We're calling it the Oyo abduction dossier. Now, this isn't just your standard rundown of a tragic kidnapping event. Oh no, this is a highly complex, multi-layered investigation into huge political accusations, critical security failures, and a very raw fight for survival that absolutely demands our full attention. We are going to treat this as a formal investigative report, relying strictly on the documented claims, the witness accounts, and the high-level statements that have actually emerged.
So here's how we're going to break this dossier down. 5 parts. First, the Oyo school abduction. Second, into the forest. Third, the rescue controversy. Fourth, Fayose's allegations. And finally, the public outcry and demands. Let's get into it.
All right, Section 1, the Oyo school abduction. The primary event.
Let's just ground ourselves in the facts first. This incident went down in the Oyo local government area of Oyo State. Pupils and teachers were abducted literally right out of their educational environment. This is the core event, the spark that triggered the massive fallout we're about to look at. And it's just this stark, terrifying reminder of the vulnerabilities facing schools in these regions. You know, it completely transforms a safe place of learning into the scene of a major security breach.
And if you want to understand the truly devastating local impact of this event, it all comes down to one single number: 2. According to reports, 2 volunteers were tragically killed while they were out there actively attempting to negotiate the release of these abducted kids and teachers. It's heartbreaking, but it shows us exactly how a kidnapping shatters local safety. It's not just about the victims who were initially taken, it's about the immediate, fatal danger brought right to the doorstep of the community members who bravely step up to help.
Moving on to Section 2. Into the forest, tracking operations.
Look, to really understand a security failure, you've got to look at their methods. First up, we have public statements from Senator Buhari. He actually detailed exactly how these kidnappers managed to transport the abducted school children deep into the forest. Highlighting these transport methods is absolutely crucial for security forces if they want to prevent this from happening again. And secondly, we actually have a first-hand survival account. Reports confirm that one incredibly brave student miraculously managed to escape from the bandits' captivity, giving us real details of their harrowing journey. Put those 2 data points together, and investigators get a terrifyingly clear map of how these criminals operate.
Which leads us to Section 3, the rescue controversy and the clash of authority.
Here is where we hit a massive roadblock that has completely stalled independent rescue efforts. On one side of the coin, you have Sunday Igboho asserting a clear capability. He publicly claims he absolutely has the means to rescue the abducted Ogbomoso schoolchildren. But on the flip side, we have his specific allegation of a roadblock. Igboho alleges that Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde has actively stepped in to stop him, refusing to grant the necessary permission to mount this rescue op. Now, we're presenting this totally neutrally as a reported clash, but it's a huge dispute over who actually has the jurisdiction and authority to act when things go south.
And man, did this tension escalate quickly. Igboho didn't just claim he was blocked. He issued a highly publicized threat. He said, quote, "I will name politicians behind Oyo students' abduction if," end quote. That is an explosive claim. He's basically suggesting that the kidnapping wasn't just some random act of banditry, but a coordinated event with actual political backers. Now, just to be super clear, we are strictly reporting his claims as part of the public record here. We're not endorsing them, but you can't deny they added immense, immediate pressure to a situation that was already a powder keg.
Okay, Section 4, Fayose's shocking allegations, or the political blame game. The sheer gravity of what we're dealing with really became apparent when it hit national television. Speaking on Channels TV, former Oyo State Governor Ayo Fayose made a direct, honestly shocking allegation. Quote, "The kidnapping might have been orchestrated by the Oyo State government. We are presenting this purely as it was stated in the source material. But wow, it is a stunning accusation to lob at a sitting state administration regarding a severe criminal act."
So Fayose is explicitly alleging the complicity of the Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde. Think about how this transforms our entire dossier. What started as a horrific local kidnapping of pupils and teachers in Ori local government area has now completely metastasized into a massive regional governance and political crisis. When a former governor accuses a current governor of orchestrating a kidnapping, yeah, that sparks fresh controversy nationwide, and it demands the absolute highest level of investigative scrutiny.
And that brings us to our final section. Section 5, Public Outcry and Demands for Accountability. The cascading reactions from the public have been a tidal wave.
First, an aide to Atiku Abubakar has formally urged the DSS, that's the Department of State Services, to actually bring Sunday Igboho in so he can officially name those politicians he claims are behind this. Second, we're seeing immense pressure from religious leaders. RCCG Overseer Adeboye gave a strict 90-day ultimatum to national security chiefs: either get rid of the terrorists within 3 months or resign, period. And finally, everyday citizens are just openly frustrated with policy. People on social media are actively comparing Nigeria's seemingly lenient handling of figures like Sheikh Gumi, who is allowed to speak freely, to neighboring Burkina Faso, which has literally made extremist imams fight terrorists. The public is fed up, and they are demanding faster, much stricter action.
This right here brilliantly illustrates the massive, tragic disconnect of this whole situation. On the ground, you have the raw, heartbreaking local impact. Volunteers literally losing their lives trying to save children. But zoom out to the regional level, and what do you see? It's all about high-stakes political maneuvering. Like Governor Makinde being pressured into a sudden U-turn, officially having to admit a presidential team sent by Tinubu has been in the state for weeks. These current security failures are directly forcing sudden admissions and massive shifts in regional governance. The gap between the victims on the ground and the political maneuvering at the top has literally never been wider.
So as we wrap up this explainer, we really have to look past all the political noise. We've mapped out the transport logistics, the wild claims of political complicity, the blocked rescues, and the ultimatums thrown at security chiefs. But the single most important element of the Oyo abduction dossier is still entirely unresolved. With politicians trading blame at the highest levels and citizens desperately demanding action, who is ultimately going to secure the release of those schoolchildren? I'm going to leave you with that question to ponder. Thank you so much for joining me, Ikundayo, as we broke down this critical issue. Stay informed, stay focused, and I'll see you in the next explainer.